Imagine two people walking into the grocery store, going down the bread aisle. One goes straight for the cheapest option. Taste, quality, and ingredient aren't a priority. They just need any bread. But the other person heads right to the gluten-free section, where the bread is tailored to their specific need. They're willing to pay more, even double the price, because this bread is exactly what they're looking for. That's what happens when you fulfill a specific need. You don't just become an asset, but you become in high demand. Welcome to my teaching today, where I'm going to tell you in 3 simple steps how you can move from becoming an asset to becoming in high demand. So let's get right into this. So just like the gluten-free bread, standing out as the total package means that you're not just another option. You're exactly what your audience, career, or business needs and is willing to invest in. So now I'm going to break down 3 important keys to help you stand out, just like that specialty bread that's always in demand. Step 1, define your unique value. As I stated, gluten-free bread fills a very specific need. Take myself as an example. I have a gluten sensitivity. So certain glutens not only bother me, but they make my stomach ache. They make me bloat. They just don't make me feel good. So when I'm opting into gluten-free bread, I'm not paying attention to the price. I'm paying attention to that I am avoiding pain. The pain of a bloated stomach, the pain of looking like I'm 9 months pregnant in my clothes. That's a price I'm not willing to pay. But what I am willing to pay is paying a higher price for bread that makes me feel good in my body and feel good in my clothes. If you are gluten-free and you have any type of gluten sensitivity, you know that gluten-free bread is more expensive than the other bread that you see on the shelf. But that's how you become in demand. You go the road less traveled. In a grocery store filled with bread, I will always go right to the very expensive gluten-free section. Gluten-free for me will always be in demand. I always say this, your market isn't saturated, your mindset is. When you realize that if you take the road less traveled, there is no competition because you're such in high demand that you are always the obvious choice. Number 2, package yourself for success. Now, as we're moving through these steps, the first thing is what makes you unique, and the second thing is packaging. So as I'm moving through these options, when I go to the grocery store, first there's bread. So I'm not interested in wheat bread. I'm not interested in white bread. I'm not interested in rye bread. I'm interested in gluten-free bread. But within that niche or field or career or business, what separates the gluten-free breads from each other? Well, gluten-free bread can't speak, but it can be packaged in a way that just makes me feel like I need you. And so though we're talking about bread, we're not really talking about bread. When you start looking at who you are as a person, you may say, well, I am in this field. I am an accountant. And there are so many accountants. Now, let's take it a step further. So you know what your specialty is, but now let's talk about your packaging. And some may say, well, I dress nice. But that's why I'm here to tell you packaging is not merely aesthetics. Your packaging is comprised of your style, your tone, your presence, just your overall persona. All of that is your packaging. People have been telling me all year that when they hear a trending sound, even if it's not me and someone uses the audio, they say, that's Amanda Ferguson's voice. When people dress in monochromatic colors and they have a very minimalistic, simplistic, not basic, but simplistic look, they say, oh, that's the Amanda Ferguson aesthetic. It's not just the clothes that I'm wearing. It's not just me doing videos. It's the brand and the persona that I embody. Can I tell you this? This is one of my lines that I say all of the time. People don't believe what you say. They believe what you embody. So your presentation, your packaging is about everything that you're embodying. Your look, your presence, your confidence, your charisma, everything about you is what makes that packaging. When I go down the gluten-free bread aisle and I'm presented with 50 gluten-free bread options, what becomes one of the determining factors on what I'm going to pick? And it's not price. I pay attention to the font. I pay attention to the colors. I pay attention to how that particular brand packaged that bread in a way that it becomes the obvious choice. If you're not taking your overall packaging seriously, I can tell you, you are leaving opportunities, doors, and career advancements on the table. Let's not do that this year. Number 3, let's keep building. So first we talked about bread, a whole lot of breads, and then we moved into gluten-free bread. And then I said, when I have to make my decision, then it moves from just gluten-free bread to the gluten-free bread with the best packaging, because of course, bread can't speak, but the packaging can, which is another Amanda Ferguson quote that is, before you open your mouth, what you embody is doing the talking. Let's keep going. Number 3, which is really important that you may not even realize, is that what is the story behind this bread? There's so many gluten-free bread companies that started because the child had a celiac disease. I don't have celiac disease. My body's just sensitive to gluten. Or they started because they went to the grocery store and they had no tasty gluten-free options. Because if you've ever tasted some brands, you will know that it tastes like air. Why can't we just have bread that tastes like the bread that other people eat? And so when I find stories of people who said, I wanted to feel a need, but I wanted to go above and beyond. I didn't just want to feel a need for the bread. I wanted to feel a need for tasty bread. I wanted to feel a need for this soft bread. I wanted to feel the need that when you bite down into your sandwich, you're not upset that you can't enjoy the experience everyone else has. That becomes the obvious choice. Nobody on this planet has your story. Nobody on your planet has your viewpoint. No one on this planet has your personality. So by dimming yourself down, you're cutting yourself short on all the amazing people who will be attracted to you. Again, a big part of the determining factors for me purchasing certain bread is all the keys that I just stated. In fact, before my husband and I go to a restaurant now, we look at the menu in advance to see, do you have any great gluten-free options? In some kind of way, somehow, there's one restaurant in Dallas that we frequent every week because they have the best bread and the best gluten-free cake for people like me. And yes, it is a fine dining restaurant and the price does not matter. What I've found is that luxury women, those who are high achieving, focus on the payoff and never on the price. I focus on the payoff of certain bread because how I feel. And it doesn't matter what price I have to pay to have that feeling. I want to invite you into my world, into my ecosystem, and how you can build something in a way that you become irresistible, that people will favor you over other people. People will refer you over other people. Opportunities will come to you just because of these 3 simple steps. If you enjoyed this teaching today, you already know the obvious thing to do is to click that description box in this video. There's a very special experience coming out for iconic women who want to do iconic things. I want to invite you into my world for a very small, intimate gathering of women. Well, I don't have time to tell you all the details right now, but go to the description box and you'll find a few ways that you can become a part of my world and move from just becoming an asset to becoming the total package, who is always, always the obvious choice. Until next time, bye.